The Machiavelli problem. Why traditional power doesn't work in modern leadership. For centuries, we have studied power through the lens of conquest. We studied kings, generals, politicians, and military strategists. We learned how leaders gain control, how they influence people, how they win conflicts, and how they maintain authority. One of the most famous examples is Niccolo Machiavelli, whose work The Prince has influenced conversations about leadership and power for centuries. Machiavelli understood something fundamental about human behavior. Power matters, influence matters, perception matters, strategy matters. And he was writing in a world where leadership often meant survival. A world of kingdoms, wars, political instability, and constant threats. In those environments, leadership required speed, it required clear commands, it required hierarchy. Sometimes, hesitation could cost lives. But today, the majority of leaders are not commanding armies. They are leading organizations, they are building companies, they are managing innovation. They are creating cultures. They are responsible for human potential. And this raises an important question. What happens when we apply a battlefield leadership model to a human-centered business environment? Because the world has changed, the economy has changed, the workforce has changed. But many leadership systems are still built on assumptions from another era. For a long time, leadership has been associated with control. The strongest leaders were often seen as the persons who knew all the answers, the person who gave orders, the person who showed no uncertainty, the person who could separate emotions from decisions. And there is value in decisiveness. There is value in clarity. There is a value in accountability. But leadership in the modern world requires something more, because businesses today do not succeed only through obedience. They succeed through creativity, through innovation, through collaboration, through people bringing their best ideas forward. And creativity does not thrive in environments built only on fear. People do not innovate when they are afraid to speak. People do not take ownership when they feel invisible. People do not bring their full potential when they are constantly protecting themselves. This is where we need to redefine power. Traditional leadership often focuses on hard power. Hard power is based on authority, position, control, resources, the ability to make decisions. And hard power is important. Every organization needs structure. Every leader needs the ability to make difficult decisions. But hard power alone has limitations, because a title can create compliance. It does not always create commitment. A position can create authority, but it does not always create trust. And in today's economy, trust has become one of the greatest leadership advantages. This is where we need to understand soft power. Soft power is not weakness. Soft power is not being less ambitious. Soft power is not avoiding difficult conversations. Soft power is the ability to influence without relying only on force. It is the ability to create alignment, to inspire action, to build relationships, to understand human behavior, to communicate in a way that creates movement. The strongest leaders of the future will not choose between hard power and soft power. They will integrate both. They will know when to be decisive and when to listen, when to direct and when to empower, when to lead from authority and when to lead through connection. One of the biggest misconceptions about emotional intelligence is that it is simply about being kind. But emotional intelligence is not about being nice. It is a strategic leadership capability. Every business result is created by humans. Every innovation comes from humans. Every customer relationship is built by humans. Every decision is influenced by human psychology. A leader who understands people has a competitive advantage. A leader who understands motivation can create strong teams. A leader who understands communication can create better outcomes. Human understanding is not separate from business performance. It is a driver of business performance. This is where my work through femininity in business comes into the conversation. Femininity in business is not about replacing traditional leadership with a completely different model. It is about expanding our understanding of what leadership can be. For decades, many leadership qualities associated with women have been undervalued: collaboration, empathy, long-term thinking, adaptability, relationship building, intuition, the ability to see systems and connections. But these are not simply female qualities, these are human leadership capabilities. And in a complex, rapidly changing world, they are becoming essential business skills. The future of leadership is not about choosing between strength and humanity. It is about realizing that humanity is a source of strength. The future leader is not the person who controls the most. It is the person who unlocks the most potential. The future organization is not the one where people simply follow instructions. It is the one where people feel trusted enough to contribute their intelligence, creativity, and ideas. So perhaps the question we should ask is not how do we make people work harder? Perhaps the question is how do we create conditions where people can perform at their highest level? Because the biggest competitive advantage of the future will not only be technology, it will be human potential. Artificial intelligence can process information, but humans create meaning. Humans build relationships. Humans imagine possibilities. Humans lead change. Machiavelli taught us that power matters. And he was right. But the definition of power is evolving. The leaders of tomorrow will not be defined only by their ability to command. They will be defined by their ability to influence, inspire, and create sustainable success. The future of leadership is not about becoming less powerful. It is about becoming more complete. This is the evolution from control to trust, from authority alone to influence, from surviving to creating. And this is the future of leadership. Thank you for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think modern organizations are still using outdated leadership models? And what qualities do you believe the leaders of the future will need most? Please share it in the comments.